Okay, so this is your puzzle for today. All right, we have a line y equals negative 2x plus k, where k is a constant, is tangent to the curve y equals 4x minus x squared. Okay, two parts. What's the value of k? And then you are asked if the point A and AB is the point of intersection. What is the value of A divided by B? So you need to know the point of intersection, your x and y coordinate, and find the quotient. Okay, so what are some of the key expressions or phrases that will help you figure out what to do? All right, if you haven't practiced enough. All right, of course, you've practiced enough, you know exactly what to do. So what do I have here? Okay, so let's do some exercises here really quick, some linked exercises. Okay, so let's do something. You remember the quadratic equation, right? Quadratic equation. This thing here, the radicand, is called the discriminant. The discriminant, right? Okay, discriminant. So, because why do we call discriminant? It's going to discriminate. It's going to tell us how the curves behave, right? It's going to determine how the curves behave. So we can have a situation where the discriminant is less than zero. So that means you have a square root of a negative number. And we know that gives us a non-real solution. Okay, so we can say when the discriminant is less than zero, there's no real solution, or it has two imaginary or two non-real. Had two non-real solution. Non-real means no real solution. So it has no real solution or two imaginary solutions. And this is what it looks like. It doesn't touch the x-axis. It's just hanging. Or it can have one real solution. In this case, it touches repeated roots. It touches it, or it's a quadratic. In the case of quadratic and linear equations, they meet at one point. It's tangent to it, right? Okay, this is when you have the quadratic function itself is touching the x-axis. But if you have a system of equation of linear and quadratic, that means they just meet at one point only. Okay, and then the third case is what you're familiar with. The discriminant is greater than zero, then you have two distinct solutions. Okay, so I've given you that. All right, so here quadratic expressions, and you're being asked about point how many solutions think discriminant, right? So here, if you are asked if it has two non-real, that means what? It has no real. So you should know how to set the discriminant, right? Okay. In that case, you say ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and you're given ax squared minus 8x plus 4 equals 0. So you determine what your a is. In this case, coincidentally, a equals a, b equals negative 8, c equals 4. The discriminant should be less than 0. So you go and plug it in. Go and plug it in here. Negative 8 squared minus 4 times a times c, which is 4, should be less than 0, right? So now negative 8 squared is 64. Do not write negative 64. Do not write negative. It's 64. Okay. And then you simplify this and you say a is greater than 4. So if you're asked to list one possible value of a, you can say a equals 5. Okay. And if a is an integer, you can say a equals 5. Okay. You can do the same thing here. The equation above has no real solution. What is one possible value of a? Right here. Can you solve this? Okay, do it. Come back. Pause it. Try to solve, right? Practice with how to evaluate the discriminant. And then that's your answer. Okay, so now, what if I give you this one here? I give you solve this system of equation. Would you be able to do it? Okay, I excel. More practice over here. Z10. If I give you this system of equation, can you solve it? All right. Okay, set them equal or do substitution. Then you find your x values. Now, okay, so Now let's go over here. So now let's go to our puzzle for today. What do I have? I have a line and I have a parabola. And keyword tangent. When something is tangent, so that means the line is just going to touch the parabola at one point. So what should come to mind? What to come to mind? One solution only. Think what? Think discriminant. Think discriminant, one solution. Discriminant, one solution. What is the condition? That's it right there. If you practice, as soon as you see it. Okay, now, so let's go forward. All right. So we have system of equations. We set them equal, of course, and then we arrange it. So we write this as our first equation, the line, the parabola 2, and then we set them equal. We end up with a quadratic equation like this. Okay, what are we going to do here? We're going to find k. All right, don't be lost. Okay, keep on pushing. Be bold, right? Be bold and logical. Persevere, don't quit. Okay, so now if you compare, you see that A equals 1, B equals -6, and our C is just K. Okay? Plug it in. What's the condition for one point of intersection or one solution? The discriminant is equal to 0. So now you come in and plug in your values. -6 all squared is 36. Don't make a mistake and write -36. It is 36 minus 4 times 1 times K. Right? We get K equals 9. K equals 9. So now we can come in here and write that this equation here is y is equal to -2x plus 9. And also here, this equation here, right now we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. All right? Okay, let's solve that. Let's solve that. You realize quickly, practically right, you can factor it, but it is a perfect square. It's x minus 3 all squared. When you solve it, you get x equals 3. Well, now that you have your x equals 3, you can put it in any one of the equations, right? In the linear or the quadratic, whatever is easier for you. Put it in there. It gives you your y value. So your point of intersection AB is 3, 3. That means A equals 3, B equals 3, and A over B is 1. They could have asked you to do what is the value of A minus B. That would be 0. They could ask you what is B minus A. Anything, right? What is A plus B? Bottom line is you need to know how to find your A, B. Okay. Keep on practicing, right? Any questions? Okay, you can rewind this video, retry it. Okay, what about this one right here? In the xy plane, a line with equation 2y equals k for some constant k intersects a parabola at exactly one point. Underline that. And it's a parabola, right? And a line. So what you're going to do, you've learned what? How to solve system of equations of a linear and quadratic, right? Think the what? The discriminant. Solve it. Okay, what is the value of k? Did you get this? Okay, keep on practicing, and all things being equal, you shall what? Bloom. Welcome to Bloom Leadership Academy. Have a great day.